"Hey, sweetie," I said. The alien princess blushed and replied, "Yes, darling." Then we both laughed. Captain Elias Trent, a man of calm confidence and quiet charm, stared out of the bridge window, watching the approaching planet grow larger. This was his first mission outside the solar system, an exploration of Lyria, a newly discovered world teeming with life. The mission was simple in words but monumental in meaning. Make peaceful contact with any intelligent life, and establish a relationship that could benefit both Earth and Lyria. Elias had trained for years for moments like this, yet as the green and blue orb came closer, a familiar flutter of excitement and a touch of nervousness tugged at his chest. It wasn't fear, it was anticipation. The universe was vast, mysterious, and full of surprises. Lyria was one of those surprises, a planet alive with towering crystal trees, rivers that shimmered like liquid light, and skies painted with twin suns that danced across the horizon. The Endeavour touched down in a clearing surrounded by violet-colored forests. The landing was smooth, precise, and silent. Elias took a deep breath. The airlock hissed open, and the explorer stepped onto solid ground, feeling the firm yet soft surface beneath his boots. The atmosphere was breathable, thankfully compatible with human lungs, but it carried a faint, sweet scent, like a mixture of honey and fresh rain. It was otherworldly, yet strangely comforting. Elias raised his hand to his communicator. "Lyria Control, this is Captain Elias Trent. I have landed. No signs of hostility so far, awaiting further instructions." A crackling voice answered in perfect English, though tinged with musical undertones. "Captain Trent, welcome to Lyria. Please proceed to the designated meeting site. The princess awaits you." Elia's eyebrows lifted. "The princess?" he murmured, half to himself, half to the communicator. He had expected scientists, perhaps leaders, but a princess. That certainly made this more interesting. Following a narrow path that sparkled faintly under the alien suns, Elias walked through the forest. The flora was mesmerizing. Flowers the size of small trees, petals glowing in soft colors that shifted with the light. Strange creatures with translucent wings flitted from branch to branch, leaving trails of sparkling dust. Elias felt both awe and a sense of peaceful serenity. As he reached a wide clearing, he froze. There, standing at the center, was Princess Elara. She was unlike anything he had imagined. Her hair was a cascade of silver, shimmering under the twin suns, and her eyes were deep pools of violet, intelligent and curious. Her attire glowed faintly, woven from a material that seemed alive, shifting colors like the planet itself. She was tall, graceful, and moved with an elegance that seemed effortless, yet strong. Elias took a careful step forward, raising his hand in greeting. "Princess Elara, I am Captain Elias Trent from Earth. It's an honor to meet you." Elara inclined her head slightly, a soft smile touching her lips. "Captain Trent," she said, her voice like a gentle melody, "welcome to Lyria. We have observed your species for some time, and we are pleased to meet one of your kind in person." Elias felt a warm flush of pride. "Thank you, Your Highness. I hope my presence will be of good service to your people." Elara's gaze studied him for a moment. "Perhaps," she said, her tone playful yet polite. "Lyrians value courage and intelligence. If you have both, we may get along well." Elias chuckled. "I will do my best to live up to your expectations." He paused, glancing around the clearing. "This place, it's beautiful." "It is," she agreed. "Lyria has many wonders, but beauty alone does not define us. It is our wisdom, our choices, and our hearts that matter most." Elias nodded, impressed by her words. "Then I hope we can learn from each other." For a moment there was silence, broken only by the whispering of the alien trees and the occasional flutter of winged creatures. Then, unexpectedly, Elara laughed softly. It was a sound so genuine and light that Elias felt an odd warmth spread through him. "You speak well for a human," she said, slightly teasing. "But courage alone is not always enough. Sometimes you must have a sense of humor." Elias grinned, a little embarrassed. I do have a sense of humor, at least I hope so. Elara's violet eyes sparkled as she raised an eyebrow. We shall see, Captain Trent. Follow me. She led him along a path lined with luminescent flowers, their glow soft but guiding. As they walked, Elias tried to observe everything. The architecture, the creatures, even the way the light of the twin suns bent over the landscape. Everything was astonishing, alien yet familiar in its own way. So, Captain, Elara began, her tone light but curious, do humans often travel alone into unknown worlds? Elias shook his head. Not usually, but I volunteered for this mission. I wanted to meet new worlds, new cultures, new people. It is rare to have a chance like this. Elara glanced at him, a hint of amusement in her expression. Brave or foolish, perhaps both. Perhaps, he said, smiling, but I prefer brave. For a moment their laughter echoed through the alien forest, a sound that felt surprisingly natural amid the otherworldly scenery. Elias realized then that despite the strangeness of the planet, he felt a connection to this place and, unexpectedly, to this alien princess. After a short walk, they arrived at a crystalline structure that shimmered under the twin suns. It was the palace, though unlike any palace on Earth. Its towers spiraled upward like growing crystal trees, reflecting the light in 100 directions. The walls were transparent yet strong, allowing the landscape to flow visually into the interior. It was as if the palace was part of the planet itself. Inside, Elias was greeted by attendants and curious onlookers, their eyes wide with wonder at the human visitor. Elara guided him to a chamber filled with floating platforms and gentle light, where she gestured for him to sit. Captain Trent, she said, sitting opposite him, tell me about Earth, your people, your world. Lyrians are always eager to learn. Elias leaned back, choosing his words carefully. Earth is vast and full of life, just as Lyria is. Humans, we are resilient. We fight for what we believe in, we care for each other, and we laugh even when times are hard. We make mistakes, of course, but we try to learn from them. Elara listened intently, nodding occasionally. It seems your species is strong in heart as well as mind. That is rare, even among intelligent races. Elias smiled. We have our flaws, certainly. But we also have hope and curiosity. That is why I am here. Elara's eyes softened. Then perhaps Lyria and Earth can learn much from one another. Perhaps you will help us see things we cannot see ourselves. The two shared a moment of quiet, observing the play of light and shadow in the chamber. Elias felt a strange sensation, a mix of admiration and fondness. He realized this mission was not just about diplomacy. It was about connection, understanding, and the very human desire to reach out to others. Then, in a moment of playful daring, Elias tried a small gesture he had learned from observing humans interacting with royalty. He bowed slightly and said, with a grin, Princess Elara, it is an honor to meet you. Though I admit, I might be more honored if you found my company amusing. For a heartbeat, Elara's eyes widened, and her cheeks tinted with a delicate blush, something Elias had never seen before on an alien face. Then she laughed, a soft, musical sound, and said, Perhaps, Captain Trent, perhaps. Elias felt a surge of relief and amusement. They both laughed together, a human and an alien, their laughter mingling in the alien air like the harmony of two worlds meeting for the first time. It was a simple moment, yet it carried a weight of promise, friendship, understanding, and the possibility of something extraordinary. As the suns dipped toward the horizon, casting Lyria in shades of gold and violet, Elias and Elara stood on a balcony overlooking the vibrant forests below. Tomorrow, she said softly, you will meet the council. They will want to see if humans are trustworthy, if Earth can be a friend. I will do my best, Elias replied, his voice steady, though his heart beat with anticipation. For Earth, for Lyria, and perhaps for this moment too. Elara smiled, and the blush lingered, faint but undeniable. We shall see, Captain Trent, we shall see. And with that, the first day of contact ended, leaving the promise of adventure, challenge, and discovery waiting just beyond the horizon. The morning light of Lyria poured through the crystal walls of the palace, casting rainbows across the marble floor. Captain Elias Trent awoke with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Today, he would meet the Lyrian Council, a group of the wisest leaders of the planet. They would decide if Earth could become an ally or remain an outsider. It was a test he had anticipated, yet nothing could fully prepare him for the gravity of the situation. As he made his way to the council chamber, Elias marveled at the palace again. The halls were alive with soft music, the sound created by the crystal walls resonating with the natural hum of the planet. Luminous plants lined the corridors, gently lighting the way. Every detail of the palace seemed designed to harmonize with Lyria itself, a living monument to both beauty and intelligence. Princess Elara awaited him at the entrance to the chamber, her eyes sparkling with amusement and curiosity. She wore a ceremonial gown that shimmered like liquid silver, yet it did not seem rigid or uncomfortable. "Captain Trent," she greeted, her voice as melodic as ever, "the council is eager to meet you, but remember, wisdom often tests patience as much as intelligence." Elias smiled, adjusting his uniform. "I'll try to be patient, but I cannot promise I won't charm them along the way." Elara laughed softly, a musical sound that seemed to brighten the corridor. "Then I hope your charm is as strong as your courage," she said. She stepped aside, gesturing toward the chamber. The council chamber was vast, with walls that curved upward like the inside of a giant shell. Floating platforms hovered above the floor, each carrying a member of the council. Their forms were humanoid, yet distinctly alien, tall, slender, with skin that reflected the colors of the environment. Their eyes glowed faintly, conveying intelligence and authority. Elias swallowed his nervousness and stepped forward. "Esteemed council members," he began, bowing slightly, "I am Captain Elias Trent, representing Earth. I come in peace and with the hope of friendship and understanding between our worlds." A murmur passed among the council. One member, an elder with deep green skin and luminous eyes, spoke first. "Captain Trent, Earth is distant. We have watched your people from afar. Why should we trust a species we barely know?" Elias met the elder's gaze calmly. "Because, like Lyria, humans are curious, resourceful, and capable of great care. We may have flaws, but we also have a strong desire to learn, to protect, and to grow. My presence here is proof that we seek understanding, not conquest." A younger council member tilted their head, skeptical. "You speak of care and understanding, yet humans have fought wars among themselves. How can you prove your species will not bring conflict here?" Elias nodded, expecting the question. "You are correct. Humans have had conflict, but we have also learned from it. We have developed laws, ethics, and systems to resolve differences without violence. And now, we wish to extend that learning beyond our world, not for conquest, but for mutual benefit." The council remained silent, considering his words. Elara, standing beside him, gave a subtle nod of encouragement. Her presence was reassuring, a reminder that he was not alone in this challenge. Another council member, their skin shimmering like liquid gold, spoke next. "Trust is earned. Actions speak louder than words. How will your people demonstrate their intentions?" Elias straightened. "We offer knowledge, technology, and collaboration. We can share ways to protect your planet, improve communication between worlds, and exchange culture and science. In return, we hope to learn from Lyria's wisdom and experience. Trust grows through shared efforts, not just promises." There was a pause, then the elder with green skin inclined slightly. "Your words are sincere, human, but sincerity alone is not enough. You must demonstrate that your species values life, intelligence, and harmony." Elias met the gaze of every council member. "We do value life in all its forms, and we believe understanding different perspectives is key to harmony. That is why I am here, willing to listen, learn, and act alongside Lyria. Elara finally stepped forward, addressing the council in a gentle yet commanding tone. Captain Trent has shown courage by traveling so far to meet us. His presence alone demonstrates a willingness to engage with respect. I ask you to observe his actions, not just his words. The council deliberated, their floating platforms slowly circling the chamber. Minutes passed like hours, the tension thick in the air. Elias felt a bead of sweat on his forehead, though he kept his expression calm. He had prepared for debates, for difficult questions, for negotiation tactics, but this felt different. This was more than diplomacy. It was about bridging the gap between worlds. Finally, the elder spoke. "Very well, human. You may stay for a trial period. During this time, you will work with Lyrian scholars, engineers, and leaders. Your actions will show whether your people are worthy of trust. Understand that failure has consequences, not only for you but for your species." Elias bowed deeply. "I understand and I accept this challenge. Earth and Lyria can learn much from each other." The chamber echoed with quiet approval. Elara stepped beside him, a small smile playing on her lips. "Well done, Captain Trent. You handled yourself admirably." Elias chuckled softly. "I only hope I can continue to do so. The real test begins now, doesn't it?" Elara's violet eyes sparkled. "Indeed, but fear not. Lyria values ingenuity, courage, and even humor. You may find allies where you least expect." Over the next several hours, Elias toured the palace and its laboratories, guided by Elara. He saw scholars studying strange creatures, engineers working with technologies that defied earthly physics, and artists creating masterpieces that seemed alive. Everywhere he looked, he noticed one consistent theme. Lyria's people valued intelligence, creativity, and harmony above all. Elias felt inspired. Humans had made mistakes, yes, but they had also built wonders. He realized that if humans could work alongside Lyria, combining ingenuity with courage, the possibilities were limitless. As they walked through a garden filled with floating flowers, Elara paused. "Captain Trent, tell me, what surprises you most about Lyria?" Elias smiled, looking around. "The harmony. Everything here seems alive and purposeful. Even the smallest detail, like the flowers or the way the buildings glow, feels connected to something greater. On Earth, we build, we create, but often without thought for balance. Here everything has meaning." Elara tilted her head, intrigued. "And what surprises you about humans?" Elias thought for a moment. "Our resilience, our ability to keep going even when the odds are against us, and our humor. Even in difficult times, we find ways to laugh. I think that is as important as anything else." Elara's cheeks tinged with a soft blush, and she laughed, a sound so warm it made the garden feel even brighter. "Perhaps you will teach us this humor," she said playfully. Elias grinned. "I would be honored. Though I warn you, human humor can be strange at first." "Strange, yes," she said, a teasing sparkle in her eyes, "but sometimes strange is exactly what we need." The afternoon passed with lessons, demonstrations, and quiet conversations. Elias shared stories of Earth, its people, and its wonders, while Elara explained the history, culture, and discoveries of Lyria. Through it all, a sense of mutual respect and curiosity grew. Elias realized that this was more than diplomacy. It was the beginning of a bond that could unite two worlds. As the twin suns began to set, casting golden and violet hues across the palace, Elara led Elias to a balcony overlooking the gardens. "Tomorrow," she said softly, "you will begin your work with the council's scholars. It will be challenging, but I believe you can succeed." Elias gazed at the landscape below, a mixture of awe and determination filling him. "I will do my best, Princess. For Earth, for Lyria, and for the promise of something greater between our worlds." Elara smiled, a faint blush still lingering on her cheeks. "Then we shall see, Captain Trent, we shall see." For the first time, Elias felt that he was not just a visitor on Lyria. He felt like a bridge between Earth and this extraordinary world, between human courage and alien wisdom. And in that moment, he laughed softly, a light, human sound that mingled with the alien breeze. Elara laughed with him, and for a brief moment the universe seemed a little smaller, a little friendlier and full of endless possibility. The next morning, the palace of Lyria buzzed with activity. Scholars moved swiftly between laboratories, engineers adjusted floating machines, and Elara greeted dignitaries from neighboring regions. Captain Elias Trent followed her through the crystal halls, marveling at the harmony of work and life that filled the palace. Everything seemed perfectly balanced, yet Elias had a feeling that not all was as peaceful as it seemed. "Captain Trent," Elara said as they walked, "today you will begin working with our scholars on ways to improve communication systems between Lyria and Earth. This task will be demanding, but I believe in your ingenuity." Elias nodded. "I'm ready. Communication is key for any alliance. I'll do my best." Elara smiled, her violet eyes twinkling. "I have no doubt." As they approached a large laboratory filled with floating orbs of light and holographic displays, a Lyrian scholar named Telia greeted them. Telia was tall, with silver-blue skin that shimmered under the light and eyes that glowed softly. "Welcome, Captain Trent," Telia said. "We have been expecting you. Your experience in Earth technology may help us enhance our interstellar communication network." Elias smiled politely. "Thank you, Telia. I am eager to contribute." The work began immediately. Elias studied Lyria's advanced communication devices, combining human ingenuity with alien technology. Hours passed as he adjusted frequencies, tested signals, and suggested improvements. Telia was impressed. "Your methods are unorthodox," she said, "but effective." Lyria could benefit greatly from human thinking. Elias felt a surge of pride. "I am glad to help. Innovation often comes from looking at things differently." Meanwhile, Elara moved among the palace, attending to matters of governance. But as the day progressed, a subtle tension began to ripple through the palace. Guards whispered in corners, and certain courtiers cast suspicious glances. Elias noticed the subtle signs, a knot of unease forming in his chest. Later that afternoon, as Elias was reviewing a holographic projection of Lyria's communication grid, a sudden alarm sounded. Red lights flashed across the laboratory. Telia's eyes widened. "Something is wrong," she exclaimed. "Security protocols indicate an unauthorized breach near the central palace." Elias stood quickly. "Where? How many?" "Unknown," Telia replied. "The sensors are malfunctioning. It seems deliberate." Elara arrived, her expression serious but calm. "Captain Trent, I fear a rogue faction may be attempting to undermine the alliance before it begins. They have long opposed peace with outsiders. We must act quickly." Elias nodded, his mind racing. "Lead the way. I'll help protect you and the palace." The two of them moved through secret corridors known only to the royal family and select guards. The twin suns outside cast long shadows, making the halls of crystal sparkle eerily. Elias felt both excitement and tension. A test of human courage was unfolding, and this time it was not a negotiation but survival. As they neared a hidden chamber, a squad of rogue Lyrians leaped out from the shadows, wielding energy weapons. Their intent was clear: capture Elara and seize control of the palace. Elias reacted instantly, drawing a small defensive device from his belt. With a quick press of a button, a shimmering force field projected in front of him, deflecting the first blast. Elara moved beside him, her own energy shield glowing as she countered another attack. Despite the danger, her composure never wavered. She was brave, capable, and skilled, a true leader of her people. Elias felt admiration mixed with a surge of determination. "Follow me," Elias shouted, grabbing her hand and pulling her into a side corridor. The rogue attackers were fast, but humans had something unique: adaptability. Elias ducked behind a crystalline pillar and quickly recalibrated a device he had modified earlier. With a flash of light and a pulse of energy, the attackers were temporarily blinded, giving him and Elara precious seconds to escape. They ran through twisting passages, the sound of pursuit echoing behind them. Elia's heart pounded, but he stayed focused. Every human instinct, problem-solving, quick thinking, and courage under pressure guided his actions. Finally, they reached a hidden observation chamber overlooking the palace gardens. From this vantage point, they could see the rogue faction moving through the corridors below. Elara's violet eyes narrowed. They are trying to take control of the palace, Captain Trent. If they succeed, the alliance will fail before it begins. Elias considered the situation carefully. We can't confront them head-on, but we can use their underestimation of humans against them. Elara raised an eyebrow. Explain. Humans are unpredictable, he said. We can use misdirection. They expect us to follow normal patterns. If we think differently, we gain the advantage. Elara nodded, a faint smile appearing. Very well, Captain. I will follow your lead. Using a combination of Lyria's technology and human ingenuity, Elias devised a plan. He projected multiple holographic images of himself and Elara throughout the palace, creating confusion. The rogue faction, seeing what appeared to be dozens of targets, hesitated. In that moment of hesitation, the true human and princess duo slipped through hidden passages and reached the palace armory. Inside, Elias and Elara armed themselves with non-lethal energy restraints designed to immobilize rather than harm. They moved swiftly, anticipation and adrenaline guiding every step. As they emerged into the central hall, the rogue faction turned, surprised to see the real duo appear from nowhere. With precise coordination, Elias and Elara deployed the restraints. The rogue Lyrians struggled, but the devices activated quickly, neutralizing them. Within moments, the immediate threat was contained. Guards arrived to secure the intruders, their eyes wide with admiration at the humans' bravery and skill. Elias wiped sweat from his brow, glancing at Elara. That was intense. Elara laughed softly, a sound that seemed to lift the tension in the hall. You humans are full of surprises, she said, her cheeks tinged with a soft blush. I may have underestimated you. Elias smiled. I suppose humans do have a few tricks up their sleeves. After the palace was secured, Elara and Elias retreated to a quiet balcony overlooking the gardens. The twin suns hung low, painting the sky in hues of gold and violet. The chaos of the day seemed far away, replaced by a serene stillness. You handled yourself well, Captain Trent, Elara said, her voice gentle. Your courage and quick thinking saved many lives today. Elias shook his head modestly. We did it together. I could not have done it without you. Elara smiled, and for a moment the blush returned to her cheeks. Perhaps, she said softly, humans and Lyrians working together may achieve more than either of us imagined. Elias felt a warmth in his chest, a mixture of pride, relief, and something deeper. The danger of the day had forged a bond of trust and mutual respect between them. And in that moment, they laughed together, light, joyful, human laughter mingling with alien melody, a sound that symbolized unity and hope. The events of the day also left a clear message. The universe was full of challenges, but humans were capable of extraordinary courage and cleverness. Their ability to adapt, think quickly, and collaborate with alien allies set them apart. Elias knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, humans and Lyrians united by trust, respect, and shared purpose. As night fell over Lyria, Elias reflected on the day. He realized that heroism was not about defeating enemies alone. It was about partnership, creativity, and courage. Humans had strengths that could shine even in the most alien of worlds. And as he looked at Elara standing beside him, her eyes reflecting the starlight, he knew that the bond they were forming would become a foundation for the future. Tomorrow, Elara said quietly, We will need your help again. There is more to secure, more to learn. But tonight let us rest. You have earned it, Captain Trent. Elias nodded, feeling a sense of calm settle over him. Thank you, Princess, for everything. She smiled, brushing a hand lightly against the railing. No, Captain, it is we who must be grateful. For your courage, your humor, and your presence here. You have already changed Lyria in ways few humans could. Elias laughed softly, a sound mingling with the gentle night breeze. I hope it is only the beginning. Elara chuckled, a faint blush still lingering on her cheeks. So do I, Captain Trent. So do I. And as the twin moons of Lyria rose in the sky, casting silver light across the palace gardens, the two stood side by side, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. Together, human ingenuity and Lyrian wisdom had proven unstoppable, even in the face of hidden threats. And in that quiet, shared moment, they both felt the thrill of possibility, the promise of new adventures, new discoveries, and perhaps a friendship that could span the stars. The twin sons of Lyria had barely risen when alarms blared across the palace. The rogue faction from the previous day had regrouped, launching a larger, coordinated attack. This time, it wasn't just an isolated group. They had brought machines, energy weapons, and a plan to seize control of the capital. Captain Elias Trent awoke to the urgent call from the palace command center. He moved swiftly, donning his protective gear and taking his defensive devices with him. Elara met him in the corridor, her expression calm but determined. Her ceremonial armor shimmered in the early light and her violet eyes were steady, betraying no fear. Captain Trent, she said, her voice quiet but commanding, the city must be defended. We cannot allow the rogue faction to succeed. Elias nodded. We won't let them. Humans have faced impossible odds before, and we always find a way. Elara's lips curved into a faint smile. Then let us show them the strength of two worlds working together. The palace command center was a marvel of Lyrian engineering. Holographic maps hovered above the central console, showing troop movements, energy shields, and city defenses. Guards, scholars, and engineers moved with precision, coordinating the city's response. Elias studied the maps carefully, analyzing the situation. These machines they brought, Elias began, pointing at several moving icons on the display, are powerful but they rely on predictable patterns. If we disrupt their coordination, we can gain the advantage. Elara nodded. You have a plan, Captain. Yes, he said, tapping the console. We will use diversion tactics. I'll lead a small team to disable their primary energy source while you command the defense of the city. Once their machines are weakened, our forces can overwhelm them. Elara considered the plan briefly. It is risky, but it is also clever. Let us proceed. The first clash began at the city's gates. Energy weapons fired across the sky, illuminating the dawn with flashes of blue and gold. Lyrian defenders used their shields and advanced tactics to slow the attackers, but the machines were relentless. Elias, Elara, and a team of elite Lyrian soldiers slipped through a side corridor, moving toward the rogue faction's energy hub. The journey was tense. The corridors twisted unpredictably, and Elias had to rely on both human intuition and Lyrian technology to avoid detection. The team encountered patrols, but with careful planning, they neutralized them without major conflict. Elias felt a surge of admiration for the Lyrians' skill and discipline. Despite the differences between their species, the combination of human creativity and Lyrian precision was formidable. Finally, they reached the energy hub, a massive structure pulsating with power. The rogue faction's machines drew their energy from here, and if Elias and his team could disable it, the attacker's advantage would vanish. Captain Trent, Elara said, her voice steady, this is your moment. Do what humans do best, think differently. Elias smiled, a spark of determination in his eyes. I was hoping you'd say that. He and his team set to work. Using a combination of human engineering knowledge and Lyria's advanced technology, they created a disruption field that interfered with the energy flow. Machines in the city began to falter, their movements jerky and erratic. Outside, the rogue faction realized something was wrong, but it was too late. At the same time, Elara commanded the city's defenders with brilliance. Using her deep knowledge of Lyria's terrain, energy shields, and weapon systems, she coordinated attacks that minimized risk to civilians while maximizing damage to the enemy. The defenders moved in perfect harmony, striking when the attackers faltered and retreating when necessary. Elias activated the final part of the disruption device. The machines powered down completely, leaving the rogue faction exposed. Lyrian soldiers, guided by Elara's commands, launched a counterattack. Energy blasts lit up the sky, machines crashed, and the rogue soldiers were swiftly captured or neutralized. Through the chaos, Elias spotted Elara directing troops from a vantage point above the city. She was calm, decisive, and fearless, a true leader. He felt a deep respect and admiration, mixed with relief that they had survived another dangerous challenge together. When the battle ended, the city was battered but intact. Fires smoldered in some areas and debris littered the streets, but the people of Lyria emerged victorious. Guards and engineers worked tirelessly to restore order, while civilians came out of hiding, cheering for their heroes. Elias and Elara met in the central plaza, surrounded by grateful citizens. The princess looked at him, her cheeks tinged with a faint blush. "Captain Trent," she said softly, "your actions today saved countless lives. Lyria owes you more than I can express." Elias shook his head, smiling modestly. "I couldn't have done it without you, princess. Humans are good at thinking outside the box, but we need allies like you to make it work." Elara laughed lightly, a musical sound that lifted the spirits of those nearby. "Perhaps humans are not so unpredictable after all," she said, her tone teasing. "Unpredictable can be a strength," Elias replied with a grin, "especially when we work together." The citizens cheered again, their voices echoing through the streets. It was a moment of triumph, not just for human ingenuity, but for the unity of two worlds. Elias realized that this was the true essence of collaboration, combining strengths, overcoming weaknesses, and facing challenges with courage and creativity. Later, as the sun dipped toward the horizon, Elias and Elara stood on a balcony overlooking the city. The streets were alive with celebrations, music, and laughter. Despite the destruction, the people were resilient, rebuilding and rejoicing in the victory. "You did well, Captain Trent," Elara said softly. "Humans have much to offer, not only in battle but in wisdom and courage. You remind us that strength is not only in power but in cleverness and heart." Elias felt a warmth in his chest, a mixture of pride and deep connection. "Lyria has taught me that courage is universal. No matter the species, facing challenges with honesty and creativity can change the outcome." Elara's cheeks flushed slightly again, a faint smile on her lips. "Perhaps humans are not so strange after all." Elias laughed softly. "We may be strange, yes, but sometimes being strange is exactly what saves the day." Elara joined his laughter, and for a moment the palace balcony became a place of peace amid a turbulent universe. Together they had faced danger, strategized brilliantly, and protected countless lives. Their bond had grown stronger, not only through shared adventure but through mutual respect and admiration. As night fell and the twin moons of Lyria rose, casting silver light across the city, Elias realized something profound. Humans were not just survivors, they were creators, thinkers, and innovators. Their ability to adapt, improvise, and act with courage made them unique, even among the most advanced alien civilizations. And as he looked at Elara standing beside him, her eyes reflecting the starlight, he knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. Human ingenuity and Lyrian wisdom united in purpose, courage and laughter. The Battle of Lyria was won, but Elias understood that this was only the beginning. The universe was vast and full of surprises, yet he felt ready. With allies like Elara and the people of Lyria, humans had proven they could rise to any occasion. And in that quiet moment, with victory secured and the city safe, the princess blushed faintly once more, and Elias laughed, a human laugh that mingled with her musical one. It was a sound that carried hope, unity, and the promise of adventures yet to come. The morning sun rose gently over Lyria, casting golden and violet hues across the city that had survived the chaos of the previous days. Captain Elias Trent stood on the palace balcony, gazing at the bustling streets below. The city was alive again, rebuilt with care and determination. Humans and Lyrians had proven their ability to work together, and the victory over the rogue faction had strengthened their trust. Princess Elara joined him, her expression calm but thoughtful. She wore a simple yet elegant gown, the silver fabric catching the early sunlight. "The city recovers quickly," she said softly. "I am proud of our people and of you, Captain Trent," Elias smiled. "We both did well. Humans have courage, yes, but we could not have succeeded without the brilliance of Lyria." Elara's violet eyes sparkled with amusement. "Do you always give such generous praise to aliens?" "Only when it is deserved," Elias replied, his grin playful. "I believe in honesty and in teamwork." For a moment they stood in comfortable silence, watching the citizens move through the streets. Children played among the restored gardens, merchants reopened their shops, and the glow of crystal lamps reflected off the clean streets. Despite the recent danger, life had returned, full of hope and energy. Suddenly, Elara turned to Elias, her cheeks faintly blushing. "Captain Trent," she said a little shyly, "there is something I wish to ask you." Elias raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Yes," she took a deep breath. "The Council has spoken, and Earth is officially recognized as a friend of Lyria. But beyond politics and alliances, I wish to know if you would consider joining me in exploring other worlds, together." Elia's heart leapt. He had dreamed of adventure across the stars, but now the opportunity was even greater, not just as an explorer, but alongside someone who had become a trusted ally and friend. He paused, considering the weight of the moment, then smiled warmly. "Princess Elara, yes. I would be honored to explore the stars with you." Elara's eyes widened for a moment, then a soft laugh escaped her. "Yes, darling," she said, a blush coloring her cheeks more vividly this time. "Then let us go together." Elias laughed, a bright, joyful sound that mingled with Elara's musical laughter. Their shared laughter echoed across the balcony, a sound that symbolized unity, hope, and the promise of new adventures. It was a moment neither would forget, a memory etched into the beginning of a shared journey. Later that day, the council gathered to celebrate the new alliance. Delegates from distant worlds were present, witnessing the harmony between humans and Lyrians. Elias and Elara stood side by side, their presence a testament to cooperation, courage, and friendship. One of the council elders, the green-skinned Lyrian who had first questioned Elias, spoke. "Captain Trent, you have shown not only bravery but wisdom. You have earned our trust. Earth and Lyria may now move forward as partners, sharing knowledge, culture, and exploration." Elias bowed respectfully. "Thank you. Humans value trust and friendship. We will honor this opportunity." The celebrations continued with music, dancing, and stories of the recent battle. Humans and Lyrians alike shared laughter and joy, creating bonds that went beyond diplomacy. Elias observed the unity and realized that humans had a unique gift, the ability to adapt, to laugh in the face of danger, and to find solutions where others saw none. It was a gift that could shine even across the stars. After the festivities, Elias and Elara walked through the palace gardens, now alive with glowing flowers and the gentle hum of the twin moons reflecting off crystalline fountains. The air was fragrant and calm, a perfect contrast to the tension of the previous days. You know, Elias said thoughtfully, today showed me that courage and creativity are universal. Humans, Lyrians, we may be different, but we can achieve extraordinary things together. Elara smiled, walking beside him. Indeed, and I am grateful to have seen this firsthand. Your presence here has reminded us that strength is not only in power or technology, but in ingenuity, heart, and laughter. Elias chuckled. I suppose that explains why we humans often find humor even in difficult times. Elara laughed softly, shaking her head. Perhaps humans are strange, but wonderfully so, and I find that quite refreshing. As the evening approached, Elias and Elara climbed to a high terrace overlooking the palace and the city beyond. The twin moons rose, casting silver light that danced across the streets and gardens. It was a moment of quiet reflection, a peaceful pause after the storm of battle. Captain Trent, Elara said, turning to him, our journey is just beginning. Beyond Lyria, there are countless worlds, mysteries, and challenges. I would be honored to face them with you. Elias met her gaze, feeling a sense of purpose and excitement. Then we shall explore them together. With courage, ingenuity, and perhaps a little humor along the way. Elara blushed again, and they both laughed, a shared, light-hearted sound that carried the promise of friendship, adventure, and discovery. The days that followed were filled with preparation. Humans and Lyrians worked together to strengthen communication systems, enhance defense technologies, and create ways to travel farther into space. Elias shared Earth's knowledge while learning the mysteries of Lyria. Their collaboration was seamless, demonstrating the power of human adaptability and creativity when combined with alien wisdom. One afternoon, as they tested a new interstellar communication device, a young Lyrian scholar asked Elias, "Why do humans always seem to find solutions in unexpected ways?" Elias smiled. "We face challenges differently. We are curious, adaptable, and sometimes we rely on creativity more than rules. It works in our favor, especially when the universe throws surprises at us." Elara nodded in agreement. And yet, humans also inspire us to see new possibilities. Your courage and humor remind us to approach challenges with open minds and hearts. Their laughter filled the laboratory, mingling with the hum of the machines and the glow of alien technology. It was a sound that symbolized the bridging of worlds, the unity of two species, and the endless potential of cooperation. As the weeks passed, Elias and Elara grew closer, not just as allies but as companions. They shared stories of their worlds, laughed at misunderstandings, and faced challenges together. Their bond was built on trust, courage, and mutual admiration, a partnership that could withstand the trials of any universe. Finally, the day came when the preparations for interstellar exploration were complete. The citizens of Lyria gathered to bid farewell to Captain Trent, celebrating the human who had become a hero, a friend, and a symbol of unity. Elara stood beside him, her hand resting lightly on his arm, a gesture of trust and companionship. "Captain Trent," she said softly, "are you ready?" Elias smiled, taking a deep breath. "Ready, princess. Let's see what wonders the universe holds for us." Together, they stepped aboard the ship prepared for their journey. The engines hummed, the lights blinked, and the gates to the stars opened wide. As Lyria grew smaller beneath them, Elias looked at Elara and smiled. "You know," he said, "I think this is the beginning of something extraordinary." Elara laughed, the blush faint on her cheeks. "Yes, darling," she replied, her voice warm and musical, "and I think we will both enjoy every moment of it." They laughed together, a sound that carried across the ship and into the universe beyond. It was the laughter of friendship, adventure, and the unbreakable bond between humans and Lyrians. As stars streaked past the windows and the ship soared into the unknown, Elias felt a profound sense of purpose. Humans were explorers, thinkers, and problem solvers. Their courage, creativity, and humor had allowed them to form a bond with an alien world, to overcome impossible odds, and to build trust where it seemed impossible. And now, with Elara at his side, the possibilities were limitless. Together, they would face the mysteries of the universe, discover new worlds, and continue to laugh, even in the face of challenges. The journey had begun, and it promised wonder, adventure, and the enduring truth that humans, brave, clever, and full of heart, could shine even among the stars. And so, with Lyria behind them and the cosmos ahead, Captain Elias Trent and Princess Elara shared a final glance, a smile, and a laugh that carried hope, friendship, and the promise of a future where two worlds could explore the universe together.